Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome back for another special episode of the Pulse of Israel. And here we are on location at the King David Hotel. I am with Dr. Paul Alexander, someone who I have a relationship with already. It is wonderful seeing you in person in Israel. The last time I interviewed Dr. Alexander was a number of years ago. He was a doctor that President Trump at the time was looking to for advice, and he is now in Israel, so I get to meet and speak with him in person. What are you doing here right now, Dr. Alexander?
Well, first of all, Abby, thank you very much once again for the work, the advocacy that you do, and for all your listeners. I mean, let's be blunt. After the invasion, October 7th, I came here. I've come here twice. This is the third time since then, and I came as part of a high-level group in. I think it was maybe the third week after the invasion.
Wow.
Democrats, Republicans as basically a bear witness kind of mission where we came, and I was asked to attend, so I came. And we went back to America to the Congress to try to explain what Israel actually endured, what they lost, and how America could help. So my role always behind the scenes, because I fell in love with Israel, the Israeli people, and the Jewish faith. And Abby and me have some people in common, some common friends who we deal with, and so that's one reason why I'm back here again. The presidential election. So I worked with President Trump in his first administration as a senior advisor, pandemic, and I will work again if he's re-elected. So I look forward to that. So I'm part of a group in the re-election campaign that. People get tasked with different tasks.
Right.
My group, with Tom Trento, etc., is we are trying to push the Christian and evangelical vote out, because we found out that in 2020, 7 million people did not vote in the 6-7 Rust Belt states that President Trump lost by. Let's say you accept that he lost those states.
Right.
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, etc. So the key is 7 million Christians and evangelicals did not vote, yet Trump lost that by about 380,000 votes. So the argument now by the Trump campaign and the Biden-Harris campaign is both sides are trying to tap into the Christian vote, the evangelical vote. So I'm part of that outreach. I'm going to different places. I've been to Pennsylvania, Georgia, etc., and just speaking in different venues, reminding people, push the Christians in their lives, evangelicals, get out and vote, because it might be the deciding factor that will put him over the top. So I'm involved in that. And then this situation, we have people in common, and there's a religious project that we've been involved with. I could just say the name. I don't have permission to speak at length, but it surrounds the Ark of the Covenant tabernacle, and is very, very prolific in the Israeli life, the Jewish religion, and Moses, etc. And so I've been part of that project too. So it's just an interesting time, and I came here to this presentation tonight, and Abby is here, so we took the opportunity to
Yeah, wonderful coincidence. And there's no coincidences. We all know God above is running the show, so It's wonderful to bump into you here. That was orchestrated from above. So I guess since you are very active right now in the election campaign, in the reach out campaign for evangelical Christians to get out the vote, in a sense, we know that one thing that gets them very excited, and that got them excited about President Trump in his first presidency, was his support for Israel, was his not just support but actions on the ground to support Israel, the moving of the embassy, the declaring to Jerusalem, right? That's the final declaration that America would finally recognize Jerusalem as Israel's everything having to do with his support for the Jewish people and the Jewish state of Israel really energized the evangelical voter base. Is that also being used right now to try to get out the vote in this campaign?
Yes, and the thing is that look, I'm not President Trump speaking to you, but so one can't pretend to speak for somebody else. But from all that I know from behind the scenes, what I know within the campaign, even President Trump, he's a good man. I supported him and worked for him because I saw all of the good he did, particularly for minorities, for women, for for disadvantaged groups, for America on the whole. I think on top, he is the best friend that Israel has. And I think he's even articulated it himself. And I think the push now is to get him back into the White House, because if Trump is back in the White House, Israel has no better friend at this point. And Israel needs this situation. And that's why we need to push everyone to get out there to help him over the top. And I am involved in that. And I think with a Trump presidency into the future, we know we're going to have at least 4 years where he could right a lot of the wrongs in the world, try to negotiate peace where he can, and support Israel in its right to defend itself. And that's the key. You know, like when I came post October 7th, I came just as the smoke was still smoldering. I went to all the kibbutzim, I went into Gaza. They took me idea from just into Gaza, Lebanon. So I understand the situation, and Israel has a right to defend itself. And I don't want to get into the military aspects now. We see what's happening in the news. At the end of the day, you, Abby, me, we all want peace. We don't want people to be killed on either side. But Israel as a small country, very powerful country, very powerful people I have come to learn and understand and appreciate. They need to know that they have people in this world supporting them and look up to them, and that Israel is not in the wrong. That's what I wanted to say. You know, like some rabbis had recently called me, actually directly, and said, you know, Paul, you're not a Jew, you're not Israeli, but we know how you think about Israel. Tell us your view. And at the end of the day, I tried to explain to them that as a non-Jew, I look up at Israel as similar to my own faith. I'm a Christian, but in such a powerful way. I mean, I move amongst them right now. I mean, I am in Israel. I'm in Jerusalem. I'm at the King David, as Abby said. And you know, listening to people, listening to their thoughts, their fears, how they feel about what's happening right now. The soldiers, there are a lot of good young people who've been sacrificing themselves and have died. So it's a terrible situation. And but then when you see these 18, 19-year-old young women, young girls, boys, young men with these guns even bigger than their own bodies, yet they're so proud and so determined, love of nation, that they're going to stand up and defend. I think it's something that even American youth needs to take lessons from, and it inspires me. And I think my role is to go back to America each time, inform people in government, the Congress, the Democrats, the Republicans, that you guys need to stand up for Israel, back them, provide the funding, provide whatever they need to help them get over the wall and get over the finish line. And I'm so proud.
Dr. Alexander, it is wonderful having your friendship and your support, and knowing that you're on the ground there to assist.
Yes.
And whether how much you have President Trump's ear, if and when he does become president again, to follow through on all that is necessary. And it's wonderful having you on the right side of history. And Edwin ends with this. We are sitting here in a sukkah, in our hut for the Sukkot holiday here at the King David Hotel. And it is symbolic of the fact that no matter what, God above is in charge. God above is providing the security, our individual lives, our national lives, the world. And no matter what happens today, tomorrow, elections, never forget your faith in the one above. He is with you. Connect with him for all of us, and keep on praying, everyone.
And then let me close by saying, you know, Abby depends on his listeners too and his followers. And I want to ask you guys, find any way that you can to support him, help him to keep his program on deck, so that he could keep going and keep helping in the fight. So that's what I want to hear.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alexander. On that note, thank you each and every one of you for joining for another special episode of the Pulse of Israel. If you are not yet a subscriber, where you get the belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth like no other place, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And following Dr. Alexander's pitch right there, we are a donor-based operation. So to allow our videos to be made and seen by more people, because we're heavily censored across social media, every once in a while, click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.